Hi there, I'm Richard from Burning Spears. Welcome to my channel and welcome to a BBQ Basics video based on the Kamado Joe. I've got the Classic II, which is a two-tier cooking system. They were amongst the first to develop such a revolutionary barbecue process or accessory that really helps and changed Kamado style cooking forever, really. So I'm just going to go through the basic two-tier layout and the basics of direct and indirect cooking that you would use and the various adaptations thereof. Okay, so basically this is your main grilling rack, and there is a lower portion and then your two tiers. You can almost sometimes use this for three tiers. The Classic 3 comes with 3 cooking tiers and a whole other bunch of versatility. I'm a simple man, this is more than good enough for me. I only use probably about 3 or 4 variations of what it can do. So typically direct cooking means there is a direct path from the fire to the food on top. There's direct infrared heat is striking without being blocked in any way, shape or form. It's striking the food source or the food directly, hence it's called direct. So in its base shape you could utilize different heights. You could go all the way lower for a higher heat for searing steaks or something like that. And then you've got just as you have on many other types of barbecues and braais, etc. etc. This is the accessories ring or X ring. So I'm just going to use it just to demonstrate indirect cooking. So I'm fitting the ceramic heat deflectors. So with the ceramic heat deflectors fitted, this is now indirect cooking. Indirect because the fire underneath, there's no direct path for the infrared heat or the heat to go onto the food source. It's got to go and converse and travel around the air with convection. So with your closed lid on a Kamado style or a Weber, now you've basically got an oven. So indirect cooking you can use in many shapes or for many things. You can bake with it. It's basically like an oven. So you can bake with it. You can do breads, desserts, and you can cook your food on. You can do indirect high heat cooks where you'll get an extreme amount of browning on your chicken skin or something like that. It'll still brown nicely. So the versatility just keeps growing with this. On many of my videos you will see me using this setup. So here you have half indirect, and it's up, do the air inverted commas, because you would still have some radiant heat being able to hit your foodstuffs to a certain amount, but certainly it's sort of indirect for the purpose that we would use it for. So now you've got a protected zone and then a direct zone, really. So you could sear stuff, get some color on it, move it across there while you're doing some other stuff, pile your veggies up here when they're done, then you could do your meat. So again, the versatility starts showing itself with this method. Another thing you'll see me do a lot is I drop. So I've got that indirect section, and then I've got a high heat section. So especially when I'm doing lamb chops or steaks or something like that, and I want to get them going hot and fast, this is what I would do. Also in the fire bowl, I'd generally, if this is what I was looking at, I would bank the coals to this side so that they're closer underneath the grill, and that I'm not using a whole lot of coal, charcoal. So that's generally how I use this. Now I'll go through a couple of other variations. So strictly speaking, for the way it's supposed to be done for indirect, is these heat deflectors go all the way to the bottom. Now your gap is so much more, so there's a whole lot less. There will be a certain amount of direct heat coming right off this. Ceramics, they will get hot, so they're going to radiate heat a little bit. So better indirect cook is like this. Your coals are underneath, and then the gap around the rim is very small when dropped like this. So your convection is so much better. It's more controlled, more tight. So that's a really great way to run it. Then, if you were to put your X-ring in there, you could put cast iron in there. So you can run it like that, where you can use it as a water bath, or you could put a bigger drip pan on to try and control grease so that it's not staining and going onto your heat deflectors, which causes a lot more smoke. Or you could do your roast potatoes here with a roast on top, vegetables under there with a roast on top, the drippings going through. The versatility again, just shining and shining on. So that's a great setup for doing traditional roasts. Now, there's been quite a lot of talk about double indirect. So double indirect, a couple of guys use it to great effect. I've still got to experiment with it. So the heat deflectors are down there. Then you would put another set of deflectors on, or as I have under here, a pizza stone, ceramic pizza stone. Pizzas are great in the Kamado Joe because of the high heats they can reach. So now you've got two heat deflection plates, meaning it's a lot gentler, because your radiant heat and your supreme heat is buffered onto this one by the one below. And then you could bake your bread or your dessert or whatever like that. So that is the double indirect. You can still put pans on here to control your heat and to control your grease, all that sort of thing. Especially you would want to save your pizza stone, make sure that stays clean. Instead of a pizza stone, you could have a big cast iron 400mm Petromax skillet that you could put in there with water to also act as double indirect, because that water would sort of absorb a whole lot of that punch coming up from there. So for those of you without Kamado style grills, without these two-tier systems, I hope that'll demystify some of what you see on the channels and see how this can seriously up your game with all the options you have, and how you can cook things and the different varieties of things that you can cook. Extremely versatile, especially when you've got the lid and you've got the heat soak in the ceramics that you utilize with most of your cooks. It's amazing. Couple that with the great heat control. Kamado style grilling is certainly one of the top barbecue and grills that you can get. Right, so I will show you some of these to you in situ. As you can see, this is inside. You can see the nice little gap from the fire basket. You can see the nice little gap, and if you wanted to double indirect, and then the pan on there. So this is how generally you often would see me cooking, because I've got the best of both worlds there. Like I say, I would have my coals banked all the way up there, as close to the height, the side and and as high up as I can get them. And then when I'm doing the steaks and the lamb chops, that's down there. I can get actual flame on there. You'll see that on a lot of the videos. Flame kissing, doing its job, and then you're putting them there when they need to relax for a little bit, and you're refreshing the sear zone with unseared stuff. So I hope you found that helpful. These are wonderful pieces of kit, whether it's Kamado Joe, Big Green Egg, or one of the other many varieties out there. If you can get yourself one of these, do so. Just check that it offers the full range of accessories. A lot of them are simply just to try and flood the market, and they don't have the accessories, and you hope that the size means the size of the one you get is similar to a Big Green Egg or a Kamado Joe, so you can use those accessories in.